Hey guys, welcome back to ArtosisCasts. Today we're going to be taking a look at JYJ playing against Sue. JYJ, he is an ASL champion, although he's one of the like 3 champions where I'm like, yeah, he's a champion, but like I don't think it's ever going to happen again. Well, maybe. I mean, everyone's got a long career ahead of them. I really like JYJ's play, but like it was one of these very surprising championships, and there definitely seems like there's other people that are stronger than him that haven't won. But sometimes a bracket lines up for you, and that can happen. So, I mean, still actually love JYJ as a player, but you can see more recently he's been struggling a bit, but still very strong, and especially his Terran vs. Zerg. I think he has the best SK Terran that really exists. He's like light level at that, in my opinion. But we'll see what he does here. I'm not sure that he will go SK Terran because he's not even walling. Now, his opponent here, Sue, of course, he is a legend of StarCraft 2, one of the best to ever have played it. He was a StarCraft 1 pro before that. He's back in StarCraft 1, has been for a while. Was top 4 in ACS. I think a couple times now or something, wasn't he? But Sue's playing really well. He's close. He's very close to being an ASL level player. Oh, you know what? I think there's not a wall here where 3 depots fit. So you go racks here and second depot here. Yeah, and it's slightly better for your economy. Yeah, some of these positions are very weird right now with like pixels that are like, hey, you can't wall right. Ha ha! It's like, okay. How unbuildable do we really have to make maps? Map makers. So a couple things, like probably we're gonna see a few more Terran vs. Zergs coming up pretty soon on the channel. I want to do a deep dive into Terran vs. Zerg. Right now, the pro win rate in Terran vs. Zerg is about the worst it's ever been. It's like really, really, really bad right now. Everyone's getting absolutely slammed by Zerg, all the Terran players. And there's like a lot of like mech switches happening now, which can make for some exciting games. Like there are Terran victories coming out, but nothing steady. There's one of the other leagues that I watch, the KCM Race Survivor Series. It's like they assign a percentage chance to win to each race before, and like Terran is down at like 3 to 5% a lot of the time right now. Like they're just, it is so rare to see a Terran beat Zerg at high levels. Zergs have just gotten so strong at defending everything Terran does. So yeah, I'm probably going to be having a deep dive coming up relatively soon. Okay, by the way, 3 Marines coming up to pressure immediately. These types of moves are gaining a bit of popularity right now because you just can't let Zerg drone up. So he gets a drone there, he stops mining, and he moves them into a position that's pretty good and forces a few more lings. He's trying to poke and see, like, is there something we can do here? But there's really not. He needs to just hide behind the minerals, and in fact, he kind of screwed that up a little bit. Should have had the SCV on the side. But it's not a huge deal. You would have killed probably not even. But sometimes you get like 1 more ling or something if you have that placed perfectly. Okay. So what JYJ has chosen to do here is he did the initial 3 Marine pressure against the 2 Zerglings that his opponent had made. Got a drone, forced more lings. What you do when you do that generally is you'll make your second racks. And of course, you have to have the 3rd depot, okay? So that pushes back the academy timing quite a bit. And yeah, you can see that here. So the academy timing doesn't line up with a scan before missile turrets. That's an important thing to note. So like, let's say, and that just happens to be, wait, 35, and yeah, I believe that's, he might just barely squeeze that in, but I don't think so. It's basically oh God, I'm kind of rambling. I have so many thoughts about the matchup right now. Like I've been going over all the numbers a lot. But anyways, okay, so for scans, if you start the academy before 4 minutes, you can scan before mutas are out. So you can scan to check for Spire. Now, he didn't get into the main base with that pressure. If this was a Hydralisk Den and Lurkers were coming, he could be in some big trouble. There's the eBay. Wow, that is an incredibly late eBay. When the mutas hatch, you need to have your missile turrets started. So if you recognize that you screwed that up, you actually have to move out with your Bioforce to make the mutas meet the Bioforce. Okay, let's see if he does that, or is he going to have exact timing here? Mutas, hatch. Turrets. Oh my God, this is the tightest thing ever. And we just heard the scan. My God. This is the tightest I might have ever seen for a build. He has this literally down to the fact where the mutas, the first mutas that fly in, barely don't kill the SCV. They kill it as it finishes the turret. That's insane, guys. I told you JYJ is like god tier at this matchup. Wow. Oh, that's funny turret placement. Huh. Okay. I'm super impressed. I am super impressed. Now, Su flies in again as soon as he has 7, so he can start one-shotting SCVs. Of course, if you get them all to fire at the same time. JYJ immediately kills 2 mutas, so kind of screws up that game plan. Su's muta's actually taking a lot of damage here. Lots of damage. More mutas being made at home. Third base in the top right. All right, factory gets started right around 7 minutes. And by the way, the SCV count is pretty low. The drone count is a bit low as well. But, like, the SCVs are hurting very badly. He's not going to be able to afford a 4th barracks for quite some time, I think. You have to, you have to be going for, like, SCVs here. Like, he's making a comsat. So, okay, but, like, you need to produce your SCVs. It's very, very important right now. He's, like, prioritizing Marines. That makes me a little bit nervous for him, because 30 is, like, a really weak economy. You have 30 at, like, 5 minutes in the game, or at, like, almost 8 minutes in the game. So, like, Su's harass has done pretty well so far. Now, he's trying to put on this counter pressure, but Su has a full group of mutas, so he should be able to kill off this group. Like, JYJ has to make his way home with this. And he's doing a pretty good job of targeting down. Yeah, he's actually picked off quite a few, but he's going to end up losing the medics as well. So that's pretty painful. I definitely give advantage to Su right at this second, but it's not like a game-ending one. His drone count is not super good. Remember, he took that damage early on. He doesn't have this space mining yet, but he is getting ready for it. 8 mutas, okay. Double starport coming up. Lands the factory. So the factory's like ready for tanks if need be. I don't think he's going to end up making any here, but we'll see. Like, you might need it later on. Hydra Lurker Defiler are obviously very strong, and you need tanks against that generally. All right, +1 finishes. JYJ starts his +1 armor. And we have the Hydralisk Den as well as the Queen's Nest. So, like, in this particular game, he could have gone for a tank timing push, and it would have actually probably been pretty effective, because the Queen's Nest is a bit late. Muta's just flying through. Oh, I actually did not recognize this. He's going for a Valkyrie build. Okay, not too surprised to see that. We'll talk about that in a second, but the Muta's in here. They're laying everything out really, really well. So this is going to be 2-port Valkyrie. That's how he's going to counter the mutas. But we've talked about this a lot, where Valkyrie builds are mostly all-in timing attacks now. Although there are Valkyrie builds that go into a mech switch, and that would be generally how you'll play later game. But you almost never can go Valkyrie into SK Terran and play a long game, because you're just so far behind on vessel production that you can't apply enough pressure with Irradiate to force any mistakes out of Zerg, and they just kind of tech up to Ultra Defiler and they beat you. So this will be a game in which either JYJ gets like massive damage and wins basically without science vessels, or he goes into mech. Most likely. And well, I mean, I would love to be surprised with something else, but I don't think that'll occur. +1 ship weapons. So that points really heavily towards a Valkyrie mech. And see this moving now? He's going to go up here and land it and get an add-on and get into a better macro position. Definitely a mech switch coming up. Mutas fly in. Single turret there. You can see JYJ is just super stuck right now. The Mutas are actually just going to dive onto these. Oh, man. He took so much damage there. Kills one of them. Another one on the way. The economy is still pretty weak here. He's having a hard time continually producing. But now the lurkers are out. And, well, not over here for some reason. But as the lurkers come out, like, the Valkyries don't help against lurkers. You burrow 4 lurkers in a choke, and the bio is not getting through. Now, sometimes we'll see people go into mass dropship with this, and that'll be kind of the bio all-in. Is like the Valkyries clear Scourge and Overlords and Mutas, and then you do mass drops, and like the lurkers can't be everywhere. That's kind of the idea. But as I said, this is going to turn into almost certainly a mech switch. Looking up at Sue's position here. Still has a decent amount of Mutas left. Making a few Scourge as well. Big burrow of lurkers. Some lurkers over here at the ramp. This is potentially breakable. At a third lurker. Less so. Additional command center goes up at 6 o'clock. Oh. Losing another Valkyrie is very painful. At least the other one died doing what it was meant to do, hurt Mutalisks. Okay, and now it's time for the lifts of the barracks. So this kind of shows what a bad position he's in. Generally, you get a lot of factories started and you lift the barracks a little bit later, but I think he's just, everything's gone so wrong. It's like, okay, just lift these off, send them out for some scouting, start throwing factories down. I do like that he got ship weapons, by the way. I think that's a cool move. Light was doing that. Light actually invented a 2 Starport Valkyrie mech switch that this looks similar to. He's taken a lot of damage, so it can't be the same, but like he invented something like this a while ago. I reference it from time to time. It was our lowest Zerg participation season ever in ASL because all the Zergs just died early on because Light had invented like this crazy build that was good for like 2 weeks. And then everyone knew how to counter it and it was gone. But yeah. So the Valkyries here with +1 are going to absolutely shred. Now, part of the problem is it's like, okay, you've made all these Valkyries, but when Plague is done, which is almost done here, Valkyries getting plagued is one of the most painful things ever. They cost so much, 250, 125, and then you just like plague them and you have to repair them all forever. Okay, he is clearing so many Overlords. This looks so cool. Wouldn't it be funny if TVZ, Terran vs. Zerg, turns into Protoss vs. Zerg, where it's like, yeah, you go Valkyries, obviously, because you kill Overlords and Mutas. Duh. That would be very, very cool. The Valkyrie's trying so hard to catch these Mutas. He's trying so hard to catch the Mutas, but Sue is just getting out of here, man. Okay, right now Sue is getting melee upgrades. We've seen more and more Ultras utilized against the mech switches nowadays. So kind of interesting. Getting his Flyer Carapace as well, even though I don't think he's going to be continually making Mutas. He might be utilizing that for Overlords as well, and there's the Plague. As well as, you can actually still fight with these. You still have a window. Like before Plague takes all their health. Yep, he cleared all of them. Now he, like, oh, he doesn't even have a Hydra on the way. So he can actually kill all these Overlords too. All right, good usage of the Valks. The Valks have been ridiculous. Ridiculous. 4th base coming up. Lots of factories are out. Science facility for more upgrades for the Terran units. 1-1 is coming. Needs to bring these home and repair. Do not forget, like, The Valkyries are stopping a transition into mutas, but also part of what I like about this type of mech switch is that it potentially could stop queens from being an option. Because normally your queens are pretty clumped, so like if you have a good amount of Valkyries, I feel like you can kind of prevent them from going queens with those as well. Defiler energy coming up. I was just making sure that wasn't queen energy. I figured it was Defiler energy. They look very similar. Very weird looking game so far. Nice little run by. Sue is still only on 3 base, by the way. I guess the Valkyries have actually done a pretty good job of slowing him down in a lot of ways. Ultralisk Cavern coming up. Continuing those melee upgrades. Well, I guess at the end of the day, like, Hydras can be used against someone who opens mech, but in this type of position, like, you get up to enough siege tanks. Like, the difference between opening mech and mech switching is Goliaths. So, Hydras are very useful against a mech opener because you have to open Goliaths as your anti-air. Here, you already have anti-air, so you're able to just go into tanks, which kind of makes it so that Hydras are not a good choice, right? A lot of Zerglings going through those Niduses. The Zergling is going to be absolutely key. We've seen so many mech switches lately. We're starting to boil down some of the ideas of how you're going to want to play against that. And it's been ending up more on Ling Ultra than ever before. Now, Defiler with Lurker is still going to be incredibly important because it's not breakable. And you can see here, he's just sitting here. He's like, yeah, I'm not going to let you attack me. Old game. All right, Siege is up in a line. And this is just now going to be, like, what he has to do is non-stop. Well, he's actually running up for the attack, which is really super wasteful. See, he just lost those because he was taking extra damage. So he was being super greedy, but JYJ very smartly sieged in a line. When you're playing against Darkstorm Lurker, this is how you want to do it, is you want to make it very deep. So that if they try to kill it, like if they're all clumped here, then that run-up move can maybe kill everything. But when they're in a line, they simply can't do it. All right, gonna try to run in again. This is what he was looking for before, where you get a few of them burrowed and then you kill a bunch of tanks. Okay. But yeah, now you're going to have to try to keep these up kind of infinitely. More bases being taken. The factory count is not super high at 7. Dropship on the way. Okay. I wonder if he still has Valkyries. I'm going to try to look for those in a minute after we check out how much damage he gets done with this group of Lings. Doesn't seem like it'll be too much, but a little... Oh, shoot. Yeah, okay, he's got enough. All right, let's see. I don't know. He might have just lost them. Like, occasionally, Terrans will be like, well, I'm not making more Valks, so, like, let's get done what we can with them. But there could be a switch into mutas. Because, like, there's not a single Goliath. Or, well, there's 4. Yeah, not a single. I'm still right. But very few Goliaths, and he's not likely to make too many either. He is making a fair amount of Science Vessels. But right now, a lot of Ling Ultra being made. A lot of bases up here. Drops are ready, by the way. Chitinous Plate incoming for Sue. The drops can be incredibly, incredibly powerful. Now, this here, when you see this setup, what he's looking to do is Dark Swarm 1 Lurker at the base, and it just shuts it down for the duration of Dark Swarm, minimum. You know, he's got Lings in there too, so he might be able to eat those. Now, there is a world in which you drop this in the main base and just start attacking, like, supply depots and stuff and just get your opponent blocked. Oh, there's one Valk left. So we'll see if that's going to be the case. All right, clears out the rest of that bio for the most part. Where are these drop overlords going? You just got 3 of them flying around randomly. Oh, he's looking for a plague. That's what it is. That was actually a pretty good split to force the plague earlier. Like that. A lot of ultras starting to be fielded now. Sorry, my brain is like running like a bunch of calculations right now where I'm like, is Sue going to be able to do this? Because he's getting a lot of bases up. He hasn't done a lot. His supply isn't super high yet. But like, you know, Zerg doesn't need as high supply, but Mech scales pretty well against Zerg if you don't have queens around. And there's no queens. There's no sign of queens coming. And the thing is, he has a lot of tools still. Like, he has the drops and everything, but hasn't really been able to utilize them. Oh, this is brilliant, keeping the SCV there. Look at how screwed up the AI is as the attack moves. But yeah, he's, like, getting drops off. It feels like JYJ is kind of outplaying Sue here. Would be the best way to put it. But Sue's still, like, he's made a lot of the tools that he needs. Basically everything other than queens. And I could, like, there's a possibility that he can go into mutas at some point here. Like the tech switch to kill the siege tanks. The thing is, there's so little anti-air. Goliaths don't kill Scourge well. So if you just bring a few Scourge and kill a few science vessels, a switch into mutas could actually just flip this game on its head. Like, you just save up 1,200, just make a full group and get out there. Because he does have 1/1 upgrades on the mutas too. So they aren't all that bad for a switch. So Sue coming down, 142 supply against 192. Gonna try to get a Dark Storm over here, it looks like. Plague would not be bad here either. Yeah, Plague here would be very, very good. Is he gonna get it? Yeah, there he goes. Nice little Plague onto those siege tanks. Just gonna hold that there until it gets shot by another tank. Like, these... I'm not... I'm so confused about what's happening here. Because, like, we have 5-6 tanks here. It's like he's trying to roam a little bit. It doesn't feel like JYJ has a great positional plan here. And Sue is just starting to clean up these, like, smaller bits of army. But, like, JYJ has so many bases right now for Terran Mech. He has insane, insane income. Keeping his supply basically maxed the whole time. And, okay, so Sue just leaves the game. Okay, yeah, it was a messy game. I like the +1 Valkyries. It felt like they did a good job, but it doesn't feel like JYJ had, like, a super clear plan on what he wanted to do with the mech units. Exactly. I don't know if you'd agree. Let me know what you think. Are mech switches the future of this matchup? We'll see. Thank you for watching. See you next time.